I got so emotional. I was crying. You could hear me.
emotional.
I was making noises.
Oh, that's what it sounds like?
That was you in my theater. I was wondering.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kung Fu Panda 4, let's talk about it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
First of all, these Kung Fu Panda movies, I would say, when people think of like some of the greatest animated movies of all time, the Kung Fu Panda movies are 100% of that conversation. So let me come to you two first. What is your favorite animated movie you've ever seen?
First one that comes to mind?
Sure.
There's a,
Fantasia.
wow.
Which Disney film, way back in the day, when it came out, I think it was a bomb. I don't think anybody went to see that movie.
That was scary.
But over time, it has become like this incredible, enduring classic with the most beautiful classical music matched with the most incredible animation of all times.
Yeah, dude, I love the brooms scene. Little Nemo in Slumberland.
Little Nemo in Slumberland. I haven't seen that.
It's a cool one.
I'll have to
But
check it out.
dude, if you want to talk about emotional,
Let's hear it.
Toy Story 3, when they were all sliding down the thing and about to all die in the fire.
They die?
They almost
I haven't
die.
seen Toy Story 3.
Spoiler alert.
It's been
maybe they don't die.
Aren't they like
the
technically not sentient?
The point is, they're all holding hands, and they're like,
they're forming a
"This is
wall.
the last moments we're alive." I got so emotional. I was crying. You could
get
hear me.
emotional.
I was making noises.
Oh, that's what it sounds like?
That was you in my theater.
That's
I was
what it sounds
wondering.
like. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't judge my crying sounds.
No, it is, yeah. Yelling and crying.
Toy Story. Might have to check those out. They're a little, but yeah.
You agree, though? 3.
Yeah, of course. It's phenomenal. The emotional
Toy
impact.
Story 1 and 2 just as good.
Well, they're great, but then 3 with the emotional. Yeah, it hits you. It hits you.
I gotta see that scene. Just that scene.
Highly
you
recommend.
can't just skip
Because
to
it's
that.
that
No,
cra-
you have
it's
to
that
watch
crazy
everything
kid with the
leading
black-
up to it.
Yeah, that crazy kid with the braces, right?
If you don't make noises when you cry on that,
do your don't cry noise again.
it changed.
I got emotional just hearing the cry noise.
That wasn't open.
Dude, I love a good cry. I love a good cry.
You're Poe in this film. One of my favorite things in
All
Kung
I
Fu.
remember is being very embarrassed in the theater, and I couldn't stop the noises. But I wasn't alone. I heard other noises. People were like, no. It hit deep.
It does. It does. In this film, one of my favorite things is how Poe talks to himself, and you get the multiple voices, the inner monologue that distracts Poe. And that, I felt really seen in that moment as somebody who, when I try to focus, I'm all over the place, kind of like we are right now. And so I love to hear when you're on set, you're trying to stay focused. What is your inner voice saying to you that you got to be like, hey, Sean, how do you do it? How do you lock in?
I have real trouble with it, and it was one of my favorite scenes in the movie when it showed all those different inner voices popping up. I felt like that was a real creative breakthrough, and I think people can relate to that. I've always wanted to meditate. I've always wanted to be able to find inner peace, but whenever I try, I do feel like I run up against a brick wall of my own inner voices. So yeah, someday maybe I will find it, but I ain't found it yet.
There. And I know in comedy a lot of the humor and the heart and the dynamic in all films, but especially in live action, it comes from improv. In animation, I feel like there's less room for improv. So how did you two kind of find the sweet spot to dial in the relationship between your new character and Poe?
I would disagree. I think there is a lot of room in
Oh, is there?
animation
Okay.
for improv. And there's been a couple of times where you do a really cool session, you improv, and then the animators will have fun with the stuff that they didn't expect or whatever, that you improv things that get made later. So I think it is a really fun space to play around.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool to hear.
I always try to give them what they wrote first, and then take some tries at doing it different. Or maybe if there's a line that doesn't feel like, I don't think I'd say that. I don't think my character would say that.
Yeah.
Can I change it to this and that? And you find some magic that way sometimes.
Definitely.
All right, let me end it with this. What do you think we'll see first? A new Tenacious D album or Katie returning in a Shang-Chi sequel?
I feel like there's. I hope both.
I mean, I definitely foresee a Tenacious D album coming soonish,
Yes.
but I hesitate to say if it would be before that.
I don't.
Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll see down the road.
Yeah, we'll
Now it's
see.
Not at liberty to say, clearly.
We shall say. We
Fair
shall
enough.
see.
Now it's about Kung Fu Panda 4. Can't wait for everybody to see it. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Dude,
guys.
you know
guys
another way to say Kung Fu Panda 4? There's 4 fingers.
Okay.
Kung Fu Panda.
Oh,
Is that?
is that the official? No,
People
is that
will
the
be
official?
confused. They look, is it Kung Fu Panda School
Or
of Rock
Longhorns,
mashup?
or Longhorns.
No, it's 4.
Mike, I would love to start with the fact that this isn't your first time joining an animated franchise after there were already a few movies before the one you tackled. What's kind of the secret sauce? Because when I get ready for an interview, I go watch everything before it, then I watch the movie that we're talking about. And
you
then
do your homework.
Yeah, so how do you do your homework?
I do the same thing. I watch everything before it, and then, fortunately, I'm surrounded by a bunch of very talented, nerdy people that love to have discussions about what they think is the most important thing about a franchise. And so I have a lot of those discussions ahead of time. But you'd be amazed at finding out that everyone pretty much says the same thing. Every time.
I love it. That's fun, man. And this is very much a full circle story from Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, 3, into 4. When you guys discussed the story, especially the culmination of this movie, did you guys see this as like a possible swan song for the Dragon Warrior? Is it like a why was now
For this particular film?
Yeah.
I think we thought that way more when I was producing the third film. We're like, wow, we're really wrapping it up. And so for this one, it was really, probably why it took so long to get to the big screen is we didn't start on this until we were sure we had the right story. Mm-hmm. It's all about finding that perfect story. We don't want to just tell another one. It's got to be something that evolves Po, and Po has got to learn something, and he's got to really advance to the next level. Well, if you remember in the previous film, he had already gotten to the top. He did it. He's the Dragon Warrior. That's what he wanted. Who knew in part 1 that he could achieve all this? Mm-hmm. And he's so powerful. So for this one, we thought, what if we took all that away? How would you feel? And within that, we found some really great themes, some heavy themes that we thought were important for this day and age. And I've lost the thread of your question. I don't know what it was. But
if you guys kind of thought of this as like maybe this is the end of the run?
Oh, yeah. No, not at all. We weren't thinking, we were just thinking of like, how do we make the most epic, funniest kung fu adventure we could for Po. That really was first and foremost.
Yeah, and you did it. You did it.
Thank you.
And that means bringing like Ian McShane back from the first movie. Was there ever like a part where it's like, okay, we don't know if we're gonna get him? Was there like alternate plans just in case? How do you?
There was no alternate plan. We locked into that, and I got to say, one of the things that I think the reason this franchise stands the test of time, it is Jack Black as the Kung Fu Panda. That one's easy. But it's also, I think this is the greatest franchise in the world based on the villains. I think it has created the best villains of all time, and my favorite is Tai Lung. And so for this one, we're like, man, we better kill it with this villain and make sure that she is more formidable than the previous 3. I feel that we did it, and a part of that was bringing Tai Lung back just to prove that we knew what we were doing, and I'm such a huge fan of Ian McShane as well. It's a blast to work with him.
And Chameleon, the villain of this movie, the new villain that's introduced here, it's like, when we watch this movie, it's like, you got to make us believe the stakes, that Po is really in danger.
Yeah.
How do you kind of walk right up to that line and make us believe, well, Po, anything could happen to Po, anything could happen to any of the characters at any point?
Well, that's kind of another, you tap into another successful part of this franchise. Po is the underdog every time. And you're like, how is he possibly going to win? How is he possibly going to be able to come out on top? And that's kind of the fun of the storytelling for this one. Like, how much can we make the audience question that the Kung Fu Panda is going to pull it off?
And you mentioned the test of time with these movies. Speaking of the test of time, it's been 8 years since Kung Fu Panda 3.
It's a long time.
So if there's a Kung Fu Panda 5, how long does something like that take to turn around now if they say, hey, let's do this?
It might take a while because we have to make sure that it's the right story to tell.
Absolutely.
It's so funny that everyone's interested in the next.
Always.
So I guess we did a good job in hooking people in. But man, I got to take a vacation first. I got to relax. This has been daunting. This one.
You've earned it. My last question for you is about another project I think a lot of people would like to see you go revisit is Sky High. I know there was the Save You, which almost happened.
Save University.
Do you think that might ever happen?
Sky Higher.
Do you think we might ever see that come back?
Here's what it is. I know that is it Kevin Feige or Kevin Feige?
Kevin Feige.
I know Kevin Feige is a huge Sky High fan. Right when it came out, he met with me and he talked about it, and his whole team loved it because it was the first superhero comedy that was having fun with the genre, but at the same time honoring it. Mm-hmm. And so the trick is this. That was not made under Marvel. That was before they bought Marvel. If we could pull Kevin into it, and if we could get Disney's so scared of Marvel, they're like, only Marvel can do superhero films, to which I say, great, let's have Marvel do Sky High. That'd be fun.
Throw it in there.
I'm ready to go.
Maybe one day we'll see.
And
my
do you
fingers
watch
crossed.
Succession?
Yes, of course.
Cousin Greg, that was one of his first films. He was the Glow Kid.
Yeah.
From Succession.
And look at him now.
Yeah, forget about Mary
Waystar Royco.
Winstead too. I mean, amazing actors. They were just kids at the time. They were children.
Oh my God, getting them all back together would be insane now.
That'd be nuts.
Who knows? But awesome. Great talking to you about Kung Fu Panda 4. I can't wait for everybody to see it.